Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and let's have a frank discussion here. Android 17 is absolutely, positively the worst character in Dragon Ball FighterZ. And why is that? So this video, we're just going to be talking about just what makes Android 17 not a good character really on any respect, and what can be done to make him better. So let's just start at the top here. This is one of the more damning reasons. I know a lot of people don't think about this game in this way, but his normals. I know people don't think about Dragon Ball FighterZ as a game in normals, but it kind of is in regard, just at a very high pace and a lot of weird angles. And his normals are just bad. Like, by any reasonable stretch, he just has bad normals. Like, look at Krillin here. We're going to do a direct comparison test here with Krillin, noted bad normal haver. So what we're going to do here is we're going to walk into a range with Krillin, and what we're going to do is just make sure that our stand jab just barely misses. Just to really illustrate a point here. So there you have it right there. Krillin, noted normal of, like, some people say the worst normal of the game, literally has a jab that goes further than Android 17's. So that's just one example of many here, and let's just talk about some others. Like, yeah, does he have a slide? Hey, slides are great, right? They're pretty useful. Even the worst ones are generally fairly useful, except his is a heavy. So you do it by down, forward, and heavy, and that means you don't get to go into any more normals. So a lot of other people's slides are like down, medium, something. So you can go into a stand, medium, maybe go to a heavy, and then you can like kind of confirm block string from there if it doesn't connect. 17, no. Because his is a heavy, you have to go right into the specials, and oh, the specials got their own problems, believe you me, right? We'll talk about that later on, but like, so you can't even do like what a lot of other characters can do in that regard. So you can't just like confirm into other normals. You just got to go right into your specials and just hope to God it worked, because otherwise they're going to get blown up. So yeah, just his suite of normals, doesn't matter if they're on the ground, doesn't matter if they're in the air or whatever, they're just profoundly uninspired and just nothing to write home about. Does that mean, you know, you have to have good normals to compete this game? No, not necessarily, right? Not every character has amazing normals, that's fine, because their strengths might lie elsewhere, right? You know, like say Android 18. She doesn't have the best normals, not that they're wretched, but she doesn't have the best normals and still absolutely a threat, right? Because her pressure is ridiculous, right? 17, not so much. And even the few normals he has you'd think be alright, like stand heavy. Like you could say, oh, well, at least it hits from the round start position, right? Like even that is just worse than other characters. Like let's look at a character here like Super Saiyan Goku. So Super Saiyan Goku has effectively a similar move here. As you can see, also hits from round start, and his just a frame faster. So 17's here starts in 15 frames, and Goku's starts in 14. So it's just kind of just a little bit better, right? So if you're just fishing for positioning, going for stand heavy into, you know, like say you're trying to whiff punish after backdash or something, Goku's is just a little bit better, a little bit less prone to getting smacked. And then keeping on that in mind, you know who else has a 15 frame stand heavy? This guy, another one of the characters that is not amazing, right? But the one thing you'll say about Nappa, no matter what, is you can never take a stand heavy away from him. Because holy crap, like he's got range for days, right? So they have the exact same startup. And yet, like, man, like not saying that his normals have to be comparably as good as Nappa's, because absolutely not. Nappa's a bigger character, right? And generally speaking, bigger characters, they have better normals due to make up for their bad hurt boxes. But like, just to show you, here's a move that has the exact same startup data. They both start in 15 frames, and like Nappa just poops all over 17 in that regard, right? Like 17 could not even come close to hitting from that far away. So it's not just like it has bad normals, just every normal kind of sucks. So if his normals suck and the numbers on the normals suck, let's just keep this train going here. His specials suck. So he has, say, his fireball. The fireball in and of itself is a downright decent fireball, but it's stuck behind his charge mechanic. And now the charge mechanic itself, it can lead to a couple cool different combos, right? Where you can like use the charge and then use this later in the same combo. Those exist, right? But it's not very important, and just the fact he can't really use it. Like his zoning game, just his neutral game is very weak with bad buttons, no presence really besides basic key blast. Even his basic key blast is slower than some people, right? Like Majin's Buu, his startup on his basic key blast is 2 frames starter than 2 frames faster than 17. So just all around his neutral is bad, and he doesn't have anything to really help. Then you say, well, then if we want to use like Street Fighter logic, well then why don't we bypass the neutral and we have the wall jump? And maybe that was the idea of the move. But this move is bad, like straight up. Like you can't move your character until after you bounce your after you hit the wall, right? And like only a certain number of frames after you hit the wall. And like when people are going crazy and assists are flying and all that kind of stuff here, you not being able to move and not being able to block for a fixed amount of time when anyone can easily block on like frame 1 after any kind of movement here, forward, whatever, jumping, maybe a couple frames after dash. Just it's a poor movement option to already begin with, and there's like very little upside except for like a couple really edge case combos. I don't know if this was meant to as a design kind of thing, like, okay, this is like, we're totally going to mix people up here, left, right, shenanigans, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't work that way. Definitely doesn't work if intended, if that was the case. Just another thing that just like, hey, like basically, why does this move exist? So now let's talk about the big one here, the drive system. So this move is ideally what he's like kind of based around, right? He's supposed to be a very mix-up heavy character, and all these flaws we talked about are basically a necessary sacrifice because this mix-up game's so strong. And is it that strong? Well, no, it's kind of just, it's full of Swiss cheese. Like, so, like the one thing I'll give the move, at least the very first part of it here, the very first part of it does count as an anti-air move. So if they're like doing a homing dash or like trying to instant air dash heavy in or something, like this will beat it. And that's great. That's fantastic, right? It's something. But for like everything else here, like, oh man, once I got you in the drive, I can go for a fake overhead, I can go for a real overhead, or I can be super crafty and go for a low, right? Man, there's no way you can guess. And you gotta just basically flip coins. Except, once again, it's full of holes. So say we set the enemy here, and they're gonna be reflecting everything, and they're gonna guard. So whenever there's a gap, they're gonna reflect, right? So let's look at this. So if I just hold down back to block low here, and we'll just send them to crouch, so they're gonna block all lows. That's what their priority is. All right, perfect. There's no gaps there. So now we're gonna, instead of doing that low, we're gonna go for that overhead, and we're gonna get them. All right, got you, Goku. Oh, there's a giant gap there. So that doesn't work, right? And now like we can get like a couple extra layers on this, right? Well, okay, screw this. We're gonna do the fake overhead. Screw you, Goku. Haha, we got you. Awesome, right? Okay, no problem. Problem solved. The mix-up remains intact. Well, about that. So now instead of Z reflect, let's just put them on crouch heavy. Let's find out what's gonna go on here. And I want you to see my inputs as I'm doing this, just so you know what's up. So, if we go for the low, once again, that's a true block string. That's great. Awesome. Fantastic. If we go for the overhead, oh, guaranteed punish. See, I'm holding back. All right, well, what we're going to do is then we're going to block it with the fake overhead and then punish from there, right? Oh, wait. It's not safe on block. So the down heavy beats everything. Now, if you remember some older videos, if you watch the channel, or maybe if you heard it from somewhere else, there is the option select, right? There's a nasty old option select that can totally beat this exact scenario of them just like kind of casually hitting down heavy while you're doing the drive system to catch you trying to do any overhead or fake overhead. And the thing about that is this. So, all right, there we go. We got you. And that's it. That's it. I got you. And for what? Like, I burned a bar. So now under the new Season 2 rules too, your bar gain's also going to be crippled a little bit. And to what end? Because he struggles greatly without an assist to follow it up. Especially mid-screen, right? So as the enemy player, like no, you're not going to be able to do that, so get that out of your head, right? But as the enemy player, him burning a bar and me taking a little bit of damage and resetting the neutral, that's fine by me. The only way to make this a true mix-up is to burn assist during the mix-up phase, right? So the assist has to hit during the block string, and then you have lost the ability to use an assist after the block string to keep your pressure. So it's just not ideal. It's just not very good. And for what ideally was supposed to be a master of mix-up style character, it's just very, very, very poor. Alright, so if his normals suck, the numbers on his normals suck, his special moves suck, then what else can we talk about? Well, hey, his assist sucks. Now, just like every assist in the game, does it have its uses? Absolutely. And due to its very unique position of taking so long to get its attack in, it can actually create a couple unique combos that other characters cannot make. But, yeah. Like, it's a very slow startup, makes it very, not very strong in pressure. Its block stun is alright, but it's not, you know, top tier. It's not like Gotenks or Kid Buu or nothing, right? A shield has its some uses, but it's not as good as Android 18 shield, because hers comes out so much faster than that. It's just a real oddball, and it's hard to find a place on the home. All these factors combined that I've been talking about is the reason why you barely see any Android 17 players. A character can be bad and still be popular. However, when a character just is kind of downright wretched, there's basically no upsides. Even his damage is like kind of below average overall, right? And factor that in with everything else, it just makes him a very unattractive pick. Unless you're a true super fan of the character, there is effectively, from a just gameplay standpoint, no real reason to pick him in Dragon Ball FighterZ. There's nothing he does that other people don't do better. And even like multiple things, like there's no aspect basically where there's basically nothing of his game plan where he's just better than another character. And that's kind of the long and short of it. In basically every effectable category you can dream up, and you want to pull them together every character in the game, he's kind of the worst or just about the worst. And that's just the true shame of Android 17, because I don't want to say he's poorly thought out, because obviously the developers put their time in. They probably had their hopes and dreams how he would turn out. Nobody ever purposely designs a bad character, but in the end, he is certainly an undesirable character to pick. Alright, so we just doom and gloom this whole video up to this point. Everything sucks, everything's awful, everything's the worst. So is there any shining lights? Is there anything we can do to make this better? Well, yes, there's the easy way out, and that's just tune all the numbers up so they're super amazing, right? You can make everything do double damage, just 10 times faster, then of course, then he'll be awesome, right? But that's the lazy way of doing it, and eventually you can tune the numbers up till they're awesome, but like, let's just think about this a little more critically. So, just look at some of his building blocks of his moves. So the slide, it sucks, it's slow, its range is bad too, compared to other people who have slides. So instead of making it down forward heavy, make it down forward medium, and thus after he does a slide, say if it gets blocked, he can go into stand medium, and then go from there into a stand heavy for block pressure, and then call an assist, maybe have some time to think about it on block pressure. And if he gets a hit, then hey, he can confirm stand medium, maybe he can go down heavy into a bit of a launch combo, right? This is a move that effectively, despite what it looks like, has no real use outside of combos. Not saying every slide in the game is amazing, but for the most part, if you got a slide, you can trick people to slide from ranges you don't think, right? And for 17, it just doesn't work that way. Like, it's slow. It leads to like basically nothing. It's just not very good. And like, let alone the fact, you know, like right there as another key example, he has trouble finishing combos by himself, right? So I would say maybe add a new Rekka option. I don't know what you want to put it as a button, because he does use a lot of buttons, but just like a button that would give him like a sliding knockdown or something, right? So if you do get a stray hit off this and you got no assist to work with, then at least you can end the combo in a proper way without burning him out in a bar and without any of that kind of stuff. His game plan is so hypercritical on assists, and it really holds him back. Like, there's no way, if you do run 17, there's no way he's not anything but the point character, right? Because he absolutely needs both assists to shore up the flaws in his game plan. Now, there are other characters that are very assist dependent too, like say, you know, this being the channel it is, I know a lot about Broly. Broly's character is very dependent on assists, but Broly has a lot of like hypercritical strengths to make up for it, right? Versus 17 just kind of is, and nothing else. Speaking up, shoring up some of his weaknesses. So we talk about how the wall bounce is basically trash in every conceivable factor. Let him just cancel off the wall. So he hits the wall, and then he can just stop. It'll just give another option. This isn't Street Fighter where like Vega bounces off the wall and like you have to worry about weird mix-ups and stuff. Like it would not be game-breaking in any way, shape, or form if he could just retreat and then that's it, right? It's very easy to move in Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's very easy to chase, so the space won't be the issue. Actually, speaking of Vega, at least Vega can even at least roll in place a little bit, so he doesn't have to go all the way and overcommit if he doesn't want to. So at least give him the same option. Like maybe you can say hitting down special right when you bounce off the wall, he bounces off it and just falls down, or maybe let him be like Black Panther and Marvel Infinite, where he can just like cling on the wall for a hot second or something. This is, I don't know, I have to make a list to make sure, but this is basically the most lackluster special move in all of Dragon Ball FighterZ, effectively. And just adding a little zazz to it. I'm not saying this would make this move amazing all of a sudden, right? But at least give it maybe some purpose that it doesn't already have. And then could create like some interesting setups in the corner where like you can do this and then stay same side and then create like some sort of mix-up from there. Like, play into the mix-ups, right? Because like right now, all you can do that's any kind of mix-up is this. And unless you have a very fast assist like a Yamcha that can like really play into it, you get like weird cross-up situations. That's about it. Like, let him do it by himself, because once again the problem is he struggles to do anything by himself. So will Android 17 remain the worst character in the game forever? No. Like, the title of worst character of the game has bounced hands quite a few times already, right? Used to be Nappa, then it was Beerus, and now it's Android 17. And some point from now, maybe if you're watching in this future, who knows, maybe Jiren's the worst character in the game, or I don't know, right? Patches happen, characters get stronger, characters get weaker. This is all, it all shifts in time, right? But 17's been the worst character in the game since he launched. And he's been out for some months now, and it hasn't really changed. Will there be more balance patches in the future? Yes, absolutely, 100%. But as it currently stands, he's the worst. So I hope this video, if you were not already aware, kind of explain, to you why a lot of what he has kind of is just unfortunate at best. And hopefully, some things that can be done. Like, once again, I would love to hear your guys' ideas. If you are going to comment on the YouTube channel, give me your ideas on what you think would make Android 17 better. Because I would love to hear them. Maybe someone at Arc Sister Bandai Namco has some peering eyes, and they'll take some of it to heart. Because he just... Once again, unless you're a super fan, there's no reason to pick him, and that's really... It sucks. And there should be no characters that wretched, but honestly, right now, he just is that wretched, and it's a bummer. But anyways, that's it for this video. So, sorry for all the dour, glower, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Dragon Ball, but just maybe, for now, don't play Android 17.